Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be our weekly reading for the week of June 1st through the 7th. And during that time, we will have a first quarter moon that comes in on the 4th. And a first quarter can be a time of, where we feel impulsive, impatient, our mind's a little bit active. We can get a little bit frustrated. So keep that in mind. We then move into the waxing gibbous energy. And of course, that calms down a little bit. It's a better time for, deeper understanding, acting on your intuitions, kind of getting things done, planning, making adjustments, that sort of thing. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Sagittarius. So please keep that in mind and take what resonates today and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, and your overall message for this reading, Sagittarius, is balance, spirituality, and practicality. All right, I had that card pop up for another sign. Of course, I can't remember. I'm trying to think of which sign in this series of readings, but maybe Cancer had that same sign. Same card. That's what I was trying to say. Also, Sagittarius, I would like to say to you that since my readings are free, all I ask of you in return is that you hit that subscribe button or the like button if you like my reading today. It really does help my channel and helps with the algorithm, and it's super, super easy for you to do. So I will give you just a moment to do that right now. Thank you so, so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you for coming back and helping me build a community here. I really appreciate it. I see you. I see people that are returning, and I just love that. I love sharing that kind of time with you. So thank you so much for being here. All right, Sagittarius. Also, while I'm shuffling, my weekly reminder this week is that you take some time to meditate this week. Get quiet, get still somewhere. Give yourself a little bit of time. Go within, just quiet your mind and just try to explore. If this is something you already do, then you know what I'm talking about. If meditation isn't something that you practice, it's just a really good time for you to maybe give that a try this week. During that fourth quarter day there on the 4th, that might be a day when it's a good thing just to calm yourself down. If you're sensitive to the moon like I am, if you have that little sense of frustration, what I may do is set an alarm on the second, first, second, or third to kind of remind myself, an alarm for the 4th to be like, hey, meditate. Because sometimes when we're in the midst of that frustration, or I have those high energy active days. I just had one the other day where I just don't stop. I just go, get things done, do this, do that. I'm going from one thing to another. I've got 10 projects happening at once. So, anyway, that's a day that I need to remind myself on days like that to meditate. So just saying. Anyway, okay, on with the reading. Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent there. Sagittarius, June 1st through the 7th, balance, spirituality, and practicality. Let's see what you guys have going on. All right. Your overall present energy is the 7 of Swords. So, I've been seeing this card in kind of a different light lately, depending on where it pops out. And I will say that here, I see the swords. The swords are air energy. And I see that, is this something where you've left a couple of thoughts somewhere about something and you're kind of holding on to the rest and running off? Like you're not saying everything that needs to be said. But you're saying a couple of things. I feel like that's a way to interpret this card in different meanings. I mean, this can also, we're taught as tarot readers, by the book. It's the card of, cunning, craftiness. This can be theft, hidden agenda. But, I just sometimes see this card in a little bit different light, again, depending on its position. So, are you having to be a little bit crafty when it comes to something? And this would be thoughts, ideas, and your words. So air energy there. Your current situation is the Knight of Cups. So maybe you're having to be crafty or choosy even with your words when it comes to something of an emotional nature. This could be something having to do with romance. Maybe you're saying certain things to your spouse or to your significant other, certain things, but you're holding some things back, maybe. Could be. Let's see what else is going on here. At the root of your situation, yeah, this could be either a relationship or a friendship. Of course, I'm not surprised. Tarot, this is why I love tarot. Is like sometimes readings like this, you're talking about one thing and it just completely guides you right through to the thing to say, and here comes the card to back it up. It never ceases to amaze me. Anyway, is there something that was in this emotional kind of situation? And this could be a relationship, or this could also be a friendship. This could be just a work relationship, someone that you work closely with. But it looks like there's maybe that you're holding back a little bit. And that could be for a good reason. Maybe you're meant to do that. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on here. In your recent past, is you've kind of been feeling like you against the world when it comes to whatever this situation is, or that's kind of the energy you're coming into this situation. So maybe if you've been feeling like you against the world, and we do have two sevens on the table, by the way, I will tell you to go look up angel number 77 and see if that means anything in your current energy, current situation. But if you're kind of feeling like you against the world, sometimes maybe you would hold back verbally, that we don't always express everything that's on our mind. You know what I'm saying? So that could be, and this could be again in so many different situations: friendship, work relationship, romantic relationship. So if you've kind of been feeling like maybe you've been doing more of the work, you against the world, and feeling like your partner isn't contributing as much as they could be. And maybe you've dropped a couple of hints there, but you haven't laid all of those swords out. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. What's on your mind this week is, yeah, kind of feeling like an outsider here with the Five of Pentacles. So yeah, what's been making you feel like an outsider, Sag? What's going on with you? Balance, spirituality, and practicality is your overall message. So if there's something here for you to learn when it comes to your partner, make sure you're learning that lesson. And something's just coming to me that I know that I have to work something on myself, is to be patient with your partner with lessons that you've learned, but lessons that they haven't learned yet. I don't know why I'm telling you that. That's something that I have been working on. And that might be something that you need to also keep in mind. If you're kind of feeling like they're not seeing things in your way. And because we're talking about the spiritual part and the practical part, there might be some spiritual lesson that you've learned that they just haven't picked up on yet. And usually with time that happens. So I don't know, being called to say that some of you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. What is just ahead of you is the Ace of Wands. So in the midst of all this, here comes some new thing. And if this is about a partner, like I said, it's some new thing to love about your partner. It's something that they say or they do that just kind of, reignites that passion, kind of sprouts a leaf here on the spirit, on the wand, on just a new kind of passion thing. It's just something new that comes in that you love. And it could be something that your partner does. It could be something completely unrelated to this, but there is something new coming in. And maybe if you're kind of feeling like an outsider, this thing kind of comes in and distracts you from that a little bit, and just makes you feel better. And that's never a bad thing. In your advice position is the World card. So this is a card of perfect balance. This is a card of acceptance. This is kind of perfection. This is the end of the major arcana. This is kind of the end of a journey. So, and in a positive way, it's that you've kind of worked out some things, and maybe you're approaching that, and your advice is to maybe see it this way. And of course, again, when it's coming to balancing your spirituality and practicality, that maybe you are just learning some spiritual lesson that you're trying to apply to your life and trying to apply to friendships, partnerships, that sort of thing. And you're getting there. Your advice is to go ahead and push forward. Go ahead and push forward, and be that make sure you're applying that lesson that you've recently learned to the practical points in your life, to relationships, to how you manage things. what is beyond your control this week is thinking about the future here a little bit with the Two of Wands. So that's okay. Now we've got a couple of twos. We've got 7 7 and 2 2 also showing up here. So a few angel numbers for you to get messages from. So look those up. Secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid, is the Lover's card. So that's very interesting. So maybe you're trying to push this, like, maybe you're trying to push something here to the next level. I'm also going to see that as a two because there's two. I just see that as a two because there's two people in the card, even though it's a ace of six. But you might want to look up 222, see if that means anything. But is it your secret desire to maybe bring this relationship to the next level? Or are you trying to avoid taking that relationship to the next level? Very interesting. That might be something that you need to think about, and kind of get your mind around, uh, so that so that maybe your partner's thinking about that too. But very interesting that that card has come up here. In your outcome position is the Ace of Pentacles. So we've got a couple of aces coming up here with passion, with practicality. Interesting. So, there's something new coming in for you here in the material form. For some of you, this could be like an engagement ring coming in. If it is, please drop me a message, let me know. I'd really love to know that. For some of you, it might just be bringing a relationship to the next level. It might be, if you're already married, it might just be pushing it to some new level where you're kind of, revamping your passion. You're finding ways to do that, solidifying and finding different ways to, like, let each other know that you love each other. That's really sweet. So I do love that. Let's see what's being hidden from you this week, Sagittarius. This card has come up in this position so much that I'm wondering, I swear I'm shuffling these cards, but it's so funny that the I'm glad that arguments are hidden from you this week. And just what's crazy is how many of my other readings, like, I don't think anyone on the planet is going to argue this week. And I love that. It's just going to be, that could be something in the ether. I don't know, something in the astrology. Maybe it is where the moon is. Nobody has the energy to argue. I don't know what's going on, but this card has popped up many, many times this week in this hidden from you position. Not just you, but other signs as well. So very interesting, Sagittarius. No arguments, kind of working on things and working through, but a lot of partnership, a lot of kind of coming to the end of things and thinking about the future. Where's this relationship going? Are we putting enough passion into it? And what is this Ace of Pentacles? What is this new material thing that's coming to you? Again, for some of you, maybe it is an engagement ring. For some of you, maybe it's a gift. Maybe you're celebrating an anniversary of some sort. But you're thinking about each other and thinking about each other, not only in the passionate manner, but also in kind of the material manner too. But we are going to balance our spirituality and our practicality. So think about those spiritual lessons that you've learned lately. And are you applying those to your life and your relationship? Very important to do. All right. Final messages here from the Soul Oracle deck. Be open to love. I don't even think I've ever seen that card before. That is so cute and so sweet. I love that. Also, admit your vulnerabilities. So, where are you vulnerable? Are you being open to love? It looks like things are about to scale up to the next level. So, Sagittarius, I love this reading. Please drop me a message down below if you're comfortable sharing. Let me know. If any of you got engagement rings, I'd love to know. Did any of you get a gift from your lover or your significant other or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you call the other person in your life? Did you get a gift this week? I'm very curious to know. And let me know. Are you kind of reeling in on this feeling of feeling like an outsider? Are you amping this relationship and moving it up through the world, thinking about the future, moving it to the next level? I would love to know who's going through that. I'm sure some of you are. So, Sag, thank you so much for being here with me today. I do really appreciate your time. I do hope there's something you can take away and use this week. Also, if you like my reading style, please like and subscribe. It does help my channel. Most importantly, though, it'll help you find me next week so we can see what happens here. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.